What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Finally, we can say it. So glad to say it as well. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day and ready for a weekend. No more work. Get to just kick back and enjoy and watch the charts as we enjoy this massive, massive bull run right now. Super exciting, guys. Super, super exciting. Please load me up with questions today. First thing I want to start with is I hope you guys bought over the last couple days when we mentioned it. 2 days ago, even during the crypto crash stream, I did say, regardless of what happens, worst case scenario, it looks like we were only crashing to 37. So, being that we were at the bottom anyway, Dogecoin 19.20, ADA around $2, $2.10, still start to get a position and then just average down. We don't want to overdo the greed. And we doubled down on that thought process yesterday. So, hopefully, you guys are sitting in some green right now, even if you did not all in. So, also feel free to let me know right now in the chat where you guys sit as far as positions are concerned. I would love to know how much Doge or ADA or Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever you're trading, that you have accumulated up to this point, and if you're sitting pretty right now. Hopefully so. What's going on to Josh, Daniel, Rick, and Doge Scotland already in the group? What's going on, everybody? I'm going to drop the subscribers only chat for today. Just let some other people in to the chat just in case they want to ask some questions today. I'll be nice. So hang on one moment. All right, let's open it up. There we go. All right, I opened up the chat. If you're not a subscriber, you can still feel free to go ahead and, say what's up or ask a question. But also consider subscribing if you would, if you enjoy the content. I'll go ahead and share my screen and we can kind of get into things. All right, here we go. First things first, as you can see, guys, from the chart, this is from the daily charts perspective. And keep in mind, I know I talk about the negatives all the time. I don't want you guys to think that I'm a bear or trying to spread FUD. All right, I just know that most people don't talk about the negatives, so I try and balance that out by giving the alternate perspective. But, I mean, I am not a short trader primarily. I like to go long. So, I prefer to be buying into a bullish run and enjoying reaping the rewards. So, that's what makes me happy, not seeing the price crash. So, just keep that in mind. Just trying to keep it real when I talk about the negativity. But I am with you with wanting the price to go up, not down. All right? But, of course, I try to make the best of it if it does go down, because you can't control the market. So, anyway, little quick note. Don't forget, hit that like button if you haven't. Let's take a look. So, let's see. Rick says... Fishing. Oh, okay. Cool. You're in the green. Awesome. Dogecoin, you have over 100,000 coins. Yep, Rick's the whale, guys. Reconfirmed, in case you had some doubts over the last couple days for whatever reason. There it is. I'm just playing. Awesome. That's great. No. Why is my Google Home talking? Let's see. How about those runs? I noticed these runs have only happened pre-market. Yeah. Is that anyone else's consensus? Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that. I was going to talk about that in a moment. Hey, what's going on, Artful? Glad you could make it. Cedric, what's going on, man? Thanks for all the support recently as well. So, I don't know if you guys have realized, but all of the bullish activity always kicks in shortly before I go live, and it usually stalls out right around when I actually do go live. And then when I end the stream, it usually continues. So let's just see if that happens today, all right? We have the bullish run up to about 48,500. I go live, we start to pull back towards 48 flat. And if we end the stream and it starts to do another rally tonight, we know it's probably just me. I exude bearish energy on the market, and as soon as I end my stream, that bearish energy gets holstered, and the bull run can continue. That's my best guess. What's up, Roar Nation? Glad to have made it. Hey, what's up, millionaires? That's the energy I like. Awesome. So, guys, first things first, daily chart, right? Taking a look at Bitcoin from a zoomed out perspective, summarized. This looks good. This does look good. I'm not going to lie. What we see here, the run up to the all-time highs of 65,000. We got a pretty solid dump here and some consolidation. We got this break And now this two-step move down, we got a nice hold here at like that 200 EMA level. Consolidation. And this turned into one of those typical, I forgot what I usually call them for you guys, but those reversal patterns where you get the dump sell-off, the consolidation, and then the reversal, which goes right back up to where it came from before it makes another decision. So that's what we're seeing right now. As you can see, we dumped straight down, consolidated sideways, broke out, and then we went right back up to where we came from, and this is where we're sitting and holding. This happens all the time on major sell-offs. All right, so not at all surprised by this move here, but really good to see. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering why. And sorry if my mic's a little loud, you can let me know, I'll try and turn it down. A lot of you are probably wondering why. Why in the world did we sell off in the first place? But then, even more importantly, because we probably got an understanding of why that happened, but why in the world did we just take off like a rocket? Was there a catalyst that you missed? Was there some kind of news out there? Well, actually, guys, there's a couple things to consider. So, I know we've been talking about very specific pieces of good news recently. So, we've been talking about things like, El Salvador, legal tender, that's already happened. There's some other countries that want to get involved. That's already kind of old news at this point, but it's still a positive catalyst that kind of loomed. And then there's been some other things as well. We've got institutional backing by more and more people. We've got more and more actual corporations saying that they're going to accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies like AMC. There's been some other rumors floating around like Amazon. All of that we already know. But today, on a day that was potentially supposed to be very bearish, why did we just have a massive bull run and jump up from, 43,000 all the way up to almost 49, which is over a 10% move on Bitcoin, which is absolutely massive, right? Because Bitcoin's not usually very volatile. What happened? So, and good point there, Artful. Great way to start that off. Volcano mining in El Salvador. I don't know if you guys have heard that yet, and it might sound completely outlandish. Don't forget, hit that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate it. It might sound completely outlandish, and it's the first time that I've ever heard of it. But this could be something new, and it's definitely something that's going on right now in El Salvador. So what ended up happening is El Salvador made the announcement that they are mining Bitcoin off of volcano-powered energy. That is what they're exploring. And let's just see if I could find that tweet really quick. So Bitcoin, let's just say volcano. Let's see if it pops up. I think I retweeted it, but I can't remember. Yeah, right here. Here's the tweet. In El Salvador, it was announced the construction of a Bitcoin mining rig that'll use geothermal energy from a volcano. How cool is that? Now, that is natural energy, by the way. Clean energy. Clean energy. We're not doing anything new. We're not creating a power plant. We're not plugging in and demanding more energy from power grids. This is just harvesting the Earth's natural resources to tap into that, not creating any new pollution or anything like that. So that's absolutely massive. And we might actually see more countries and more people try and tap into that, because we always think about the typical things, solar energy, maybe taking advantage of wind or even water. But who really does geothermal, unless you're playing Minecraft or something, But yeah, that is amazing. And it says today the first Bitcoin is being mined, a volcano mined in El Salvador. And here's the progress on that. So it's already began. So that is absolutely insane. And you can see confirmation from these articles. It's already beginning here. That's one big thing that really pushed the market forward. And that could be something that, like I said, we know Elon Musk, who's been one of the main factors in this bear market, because he kind of denounced Bitcoin for being taking dirty energy to run. We know that people are still looking for ways to switch to clean energy to make him happy, to get him to re-endorse Bitcoin. And this could be something that people start exploring if, and really it's a free way to do it for the most part as well. So that's pretty neat. So there's that, guys. Another big thing, and this in my opinion is probably the biggest thing, is that there are issues, new looming issues with the infrastructure bill that aren't really being discussed right now. Now, keep in mind this point. We already know that the government has made it clear. Jerome Powell reinforced yesterday that the government has no plans to ban Bitcoin. All right, he made it clear, no plans to ban at least, the decent cryptocurrencies out there. He said stable coins, but we can assume that he was just talking about crypto in general. No plans. All right. On top of that, we also know that the government said with this infrastructure bill, though technically the verbiage sounds like it's going to kind of screw over the everyday miner or validator or blockchain developer in the United States. Hang on, let me go to less lyrical music. All right, so we know that the verbiage there kind of indicated that it would not really be legal to do those things, to mine in the United States, to be a validator, whatever. The government made it clear also that they don't plan to enforce that it's kind of some misworded documents there. And even though it was not amended, they did not intend to ban the mining, right? It was just misworded, and they don't plan to enforce that part. So we know that much. That being said, we still have to factor in the fact that it's going to be a law and it's going to loom over people's heads. It will make some people uncomfortable. It is not a positive catalyst to have that verbiage put into law, no matter which way you want to look at it. It is good to have regulation. It's not good for something to technically be illegal and people just do it because the government said we won't punish you for it. Not a nice scenario to be in. So anyway, that bill getting passed is most likely going to cause a little bit of concern, and we'll probably see at least a little bit of a pullback. Some people selling off, maybe some whales take that opportunity to sell the top wherever we sit at that moment, dump, hope that the market crashes, and being not super concerned, they'll just buy back towards the bottom and then go long from there. They do it all the time. They actually did it the last time where there was supposed to be a vote on the infrastructure bill. That's exactly what they did. They ran all the way up to just take a look at the charts here, ran it up all the way to the top, and then pretty much when that moment came, they all just in unison dumped, and that's when we went all the way down. We dropped $10,000 in a couple hours. All right, so it can happen. It has happened. It can happen again. So I'm just being careful when it comes to that. That being said, that vote was supposed to happen by the end of tomorrow. That did not work out, so it kind of got pushed to today. So far, the latest news that we have right now is that that's not working out either. And I think that is one of the main reasons also that we're starting to see a lot of new confidence with buying going, with Bitcoin today. Combine that with the fact that it's the first day of October, which we've already discussed over the last couple days, is supposed to be a month where everyone's thinking bullish. September was supposed to close red, and October, our price targets are towards 65,000. So everyone's already in that new bullish mindset, and you combine all these factors together: volcano mining in El Salvador, infrastructure bill having issues being passed, and it's looking like it's not likely to get passed today or anytime soon at this point. And then we're going into this fresh month of October where everyone has high price targets, and we are shaped up to have a nice run here. All right, and just so you guys know what I'm talking about regarding the infrastructure situation, let's just go ahead and take a look here. Looking at going to house.gov, this is the House of Representatives main website. You can go to floor proceedings and just see that they did reconvene after they recessed at 4 yesterday and said, all right, we'll pick up tomorrow, and they didn't get anything done. They reconvened at 10, but then they immediately went back and recessed, and they have not picked back up. If you go to the live stream here, you can still see that it says the House is in recess, subject to the call of the chair. So nothing has happened today. So we already missed Nancy Pelosi's original deadline for having that vote in yesterday. And she said by October 1st. So maybe you could say, all right, we've got till the end of the day today. But the way it's looking right now, they still have not reconvened. There has been no vote. And then if you go ahead and you take a look at some of the live updates, and let me pull that article back up that I had. And let me just type in infrastructure. All right, here's what ended up happening. Just due to the amount of issues that they were having trying to get this vote going and hoping that the vote would be in favor of passing the bill, they actually had Joe Biden come down and talk to the House trying to get this thing worked out. They brought in reinforcements from the president. Nancy Pelosi's probably the one that did it, to try and get more people on board to get this thing passed. Now, this is something worth noting. It says President Biden emerged from a meeting with House Democrats on Friday expressing confidence that his party would ultimately unite behind the agenda. Then it says, but he suggested that a deal on major social safety net and climate policy bill could be as far as weeks off. He said, I'm telling you, we're going to get this done. After huddling with Democrats who have been feuding over these two bills, he added, it doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks, we're going to get it done. All right. So all of these signs are pointing towards the high probability that there will not be a vote today. And that vote, now that we've already missed the deadline, we may not even, try to stick to, all right, well, over the next couple days or anything like that anymore. It'll just be a matter of, all right, let's get the reconciliation bill that needed to be passed to get the Democrats on board. Let's get that figured out first. Let's just go back to the drawing board and do this in the order that will make everyone happy so that we can get the votes we need without having all these issues. And that could take a couple weeks. So I think you combine all those things together and you have a lot of fears thrown out the window of a potential pullback. We're straight into October with that positive news and positive mindset. And so now we're seeing a massive bull run. And I think those things, like I said, I think those were the ingredients that put us to where we are now. So hope that made sense. Feel free to ask any questions. Ryan says September has annually been a red month at least 4 years in a row. In October and December to December it picks up. Exactly. And that's why people were really not thinking that we would pass 47,000 in September, or at least close above it. But now, the sky's the limit. If you start going back to, like Plan B, that account where he does all the stock to flow information, based on his price targets, he said 43K was the lowest that he thought we would close, no lower than 43, and he was right on with that. All right, and then he's saying that no lower than 63,000 is where he thinks that we're going to close at the end of October, and I don't doubt that'll happen. We'll see how close we are. But I would say, 60 to 65, maybe even 70 is where me personally, just based off everything I know, is where I'd expect us to be closing. So either way, that's very, very bullish, guys. Keep that in mind. So yeah, probably not the best time to be super short biased. Now, the problem is now we're going to need just a little more information on what the plan is with this infrastructure bill and if they plan to reschedule a vote or something like that and when that will be. Because that day, I do still expect a pullback of some sort. But that does not mean I'm bearish on Bitcoin. Keep that in mind. But, as a trader, I look for these little dips so I can load up or so I can go short very briefly, ride the wave down, and then load up on the way back up. Looks like Artful Dozier tagged me in some tweets here. So let's see what's up here. Maybe we've got some new info. Yep, 63K is what Plan B said for October. November 98, December 135. Looks good. Then he says, what will trigger the next leg of the... Okay, and this was actually the next thing I wanted to talk about too. Etf approval, guys. So, some not extremely positive news regarding crypto ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs. The SEC did extend their deadline by 45 days, pushing back the deadline to November the 14th for the ETF decision to be made. That being said, they are kind of in favor of the ETF so far, so it's not like they don't want it, they're just trying to get it right. And it looks like by November 14th, there will be, or probably right around that date, there will be a Bitcoin ETF. The great thing about that is that allows a lot of institutional funding to come in because you add regulations, a regulated market like the stock market, and you put the Bitcoin accessibility in that already regulated market, then you get big money that's way more conservative and less risky than the retail trader just trying to YOLO and get rich. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know why we have vocals today. Let me try and get the vocals off. Hang on, guys. I picked a different playlist and it didn't have an option to just do instrumentals. So let's do this and this. And we'll just play that for now. All right, so one of the big things about that, guys, is it's going to allow institutional investment to really happen. Millions and millions, potentially even billions of dollars that are not currently in Bitcoin could flood in, being that now that access is going to be in a regulated space. So institutional investment, ETF approval, that should be coming this month, heading into next month. And then he also mentions El Salvador. I don't know what this is talking about. Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft adoption. We already know that potentially Amazon is on board. And we know that especially with Apple, they've already hired a crypto advisor. So there'll probably be some sort of integration. I haven't heard anything about Microsoft yet, but I've already been talking about myself that Google is probably one of the next ones to do it, just being that they're already so into the tech space and payment space. It would only make sense. I'm not sure what that one's talking about, or that one. I don't know about China making a U-turn there. We'll see. Maybe he's talking about Evergrande if they bail out, but there's no news on that either. But there's definitely a lot of positive catalysts here for Bitcoin in October, so that'll be exciting. All right, taking a look at the price here, guys. Now I want to talk about what we can actually expect from the price as far as targets are concerned, where are we going to stall out, and all that good stuff. The first thing I want to say is that we are already at a resistance point, so please be mindful with your investments. If you are not in yet and you're looking for an entry for whatever reason you have not bought in yet, be very careful about buying in right now. Now, I'm not saying be overly cautious, because still, regardless of the fact that we are extended, we are only at 22 cents on Dogecoin, and on ADA, we are only at about 25 cents or 26 cents right now. All right, so these are still low prices. Please keep in mind, 2 weeks ago, ADA was at $3.10. A couple weeks ago, Dogecoin was at 35 cents. We are significantly below those prices. A couple weeks ago as well, Ethereum was up here. Now, not long ago, Ethereum was down here, but now Ethereum is back to 3,300. That one's a little extended, I won't lie. But as for the others, you're at a little bit of a value buy here. So you can still buy in if you're not in. I'm not saying don't buy, but please avoid the temptation to just randomly all in out of FOMO. That is how you get burned. And that just puts you in a situation where you're immediately going to be thinking emotionally, and you might end up buying here, see the price come back down to here, and you're like, I was probably wrong, and sell. Next thing you know, it takes off on you, and you're out and you're down money, and now you're going to want to give up. All right, so be very careful about buying this high up. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because if you just look at the big picture here, we're just on the 4-hour time frame. You can see we're right here, and if you just look very easily to the left, you can see where resistance is at. All right. And there's two levels right here. And that's the previous highs right before the dump. That one high is right here at 48,510. And this is exactly where we're hovering right now. As you can see, this wick right here rejected right off that level. So we are already hitting that first resistance level. And let's throw drawings back up on the screen. Right there. And as you can see, we literally just rejected off of that. We are technically at the potential top, and we could see a pullback of like $1,000, $2,000, whatever. Could be less, could be more. If we manage to hold here and move up again, we still have strong resistance at the ultimate high point right here at 48,800, which is only $300 up. So please, if we break above 48.5, don't get faked out and do something crazy. There is another resistance just $300 away. All right, so keep that in mind. Then, as we look at the bigger picture, you're going to want to see, well, what's the next levels if we pass that and it looks like we're on a bullish run? Where should I expect us to really stop? Potential levels is going to be 50,000 flat right here. As you can see, the majority of trading consolidated at this 50,000 level. You had a little bit of activity above, a little bit below, draw a line right through the middle, that average 50,000 flat, and that's also going to be a mental resistance as well, being that it's a whole number and an increment of 10,000 and an increment of 25 and an increment of 50. You can also see there is some resistance right here at 49.5. Actually, there's a lot of resistance right here. Tons of support, tons of resistance. So you've got a couple levels. If we're managing to get above 50,000 and hold above that, then just, keep an eye on it. I would kind of ignore these points at that point. Obviously, you want to look at the all-time high and say we'll probably stall out at 53. There will be a lot of profit taking, a pullback, and then maybe a continuation or maybe not if it ends up being a double top scenario. But those are your levels. Right now, 48.5, which we just pulled back off of, 48.8 after that. Then you've got 49.5 and 50. And then after that, we could just make a run for it if we clear those areas. That being said, we moved already 10% on Bitcoin in one day. It would make sense to be, pretty much done with a run. It would make sense for us to be done running for today. So give this thing some room to breathe. If you already have a position, I would, if anything, consider locking in some profit at this moment in time instead of adding more quite yet. All right, if I'm going to add more, I would want that to be on confirmation that we're going to continue bullishly running, not when we're just sitting at the top stalling out. That is usually not the good time to do it. So just from a trader's perspective, looking at where we sit, massive run up, overextended a bit. I could even pull up probably the RSI for the people that the RSI makes happy. As you can see, super overextended on the RSI. We are not even in the 30 to 70 range anymore. We actually hit the top bands of this towards 90. And we've got a lot of room according to the RSI that we need to cool off with. If we go to the 4 hour, we are at the extreme top of the RSI. If we go to the daily, we're still getting up there. According to the daily, we could potentially have a little bit more to go, but that would probably stall us out somewhere around, like I said, 50K. So it's kind of indicating the same things that I just said based off the chart. But basically my point is we are at what is the most likely stopping point. It is going to be the best spot to start taking some profit. Wait to see what happens. I'm not saying close all your position. Maybe lock in 25, 50% if you made a good amount of money and see if we're going to pull back and you can load up and get that average back down at a dip. And and then ride the wave back up. This should be a bullish month unless we get really bad continued news from Evergrande, and that happens this month and that messes us up, or unless the infrastructure bill gets passed within the next couple weeks and then people take that harder than we expect. We should be on target for that 60 to 65,000 level, and maybe we could be even beyond that if things are really, if we have a really clear path. So that's my thoughts, guys. Yes, happy day. Glad to hear you guys were making some money as well. I know this last month has been a little all over the place as we've been trying to figure out what's happening. It's really hard when you get a ton of conflicting positive news and a ton of conflicting negative news, and they're just going at each other, and you're trying to figure out which one's going to win the battle, the price war with the whales, which direction will they go in. That gets really tricky, but hopefully this month's a little more clear, and I think everyone's probably in agreement that this month's going to be a good month. That's the way it's looking. That's the way it should play out. Thank you all for the support. I do appreciate it. Thanks for hitting that like button. Also, I do appreciate that. And don't forget, guys, if you have anyone that has questions about how to trade, how to look at the charts, what I look at, anything like that, share this channel with them. This is primarily a technical analysis channel. Most of you guys have been here long enough that you've figured out the technical analysis and you've already asked those questions, which is why we don't end up explaining like support and resistance and EMAs and all that stuff every day, because you guys already know it now. But I'm more than happy to teach new people. Hi, M. Should I take profit? I bought one Bitcoin at 31, 17K in profits. Need your thoughts. Thanks. Yes, I would take profit. Now here's the thing. I say yes, I would take profit. It depends on if you want to be a trader or not. If you don't want to be a trader, you could very easily just hold on to that Bitcoin for another year or two and just say, forget it. By the end of next year, this Bitcoin could be $250,000. I'm not going to mess with it because you bought in at 31K. We are probably not going back to your price. We will probably not have any kind of sell-off that will take us back under, well under 37. So if you just want to sit on that Bitcoin and just wait, I mean, projections are end of the year 120,000. So maybe you just want to sit on that and not try and scalp with that, and maybe just set up a different account and start investing in some other things and let that Bitcoin ride. That might be my better suggestion. If I had a Bitcoin at 31, for me, that's just like I have a whole Bitcoin. I could be rich off this thing if I just let it sit. Maybe I shouldn't overdo it. That might be my thought. But I would probably recommend, if you can spare it, leave that Bitcoin alone. Go start saving up some more investment money for a secondary portfolio. Don't sell the Bitcoin and start like buying some other things like some Dogecoin, some ADA, some Ethereum, and whatever. Yeah, I at 31,000, I don't think I could recommend trying to scalp with that. You're already up 17K. The benefit of being able to buy low like that is you're up so much money now, and you're so far away as far as the current price is concerned, that you can go to sleep at night without like worrying about what the chart is or whatever, knowing that you're up tens of thousands of dollars and that's just going to increase over time. That is definitely a hold play, in my opinion. Even from someone that likes to trade like myself, I would probably leave that and just trade on another account with some other assets. But awesome grab for sure. I mean, that means you bought right at the bottom of the whole crash, because we only went down to 29. So that means you bought, right about here. That is some crazy value you got there. That's amazing. I know some other people like Skydive and some others have a lot of holdings down here as well when Doge was at 19 and whatnot, and 16 cents. So props to you guys. Good trading. Any other questions? Kind of ran through that in a faster than usual 30 minutes. So did I get grapefruit? Why is that so nasty? I did. I don't like grapefruit. But it's all right. It's alcohol, so it'll do. But as you can see, guys, right off that level, just as we kind of talked about, we are seeing the sell-off. We are seeing the pullback. If you're someone like Byron, you honestly don't care. All right, just being honest, because this thing could pull back 10K and you're still 10K away from where you bought, so who cares, right? But if you're trading, looking to take some profit, double down on the pullback and all that good stuff, trying to have some fun with it, we did hit 48.5. We are now seeing the pullback. People are wisely taking profit. People are wisely going short right there at that resistance. All right, and so we'll just have to see what the extent of that is. It could stop at right around 47.9 and not go any lower and then pick up and continue, or we've got a lot of room to pull back. I mean, let's just look at what those levels were on the way up and down. We've got 46.8 right here, right around 47. That's a potential stopping point. We've also got 45, and then we've got, back down to 44 and 43. It could happen. But overall for the month, I would not be bearish. Weekend forecast predictions. I'm going to say that's really, really tricky, because we have to factor in what's going to be released in the news. All right. And so it just gets really hard, guys. And I'm sorry. I know I'd love to give more accurate predictions for you, but I'm just being honest. It gets really hard when you don't know what the news is going to look like to give a prediction, because I can say based off technicals, it looks like 52, and then we get one piece of news and we're sitting down at like 39. All right. And I'm way off. It's just not that simple. But I would say for the weekend, as long as we don't get an infrastructure bill vote in between now and Monday, as long as that gets pushed off and there's no new news there, and as long as we don't hear anything from China to kill the market, I think we will see some sort of pullback, potentially towards 47. I don't know how much lower we go than 45, worst case scenario. Those 200 EMAs are usually pretty strong. As you can see, we've got the daily EMA right there at 44.5, and then we've got the 4 hours right at 45K. And I think that will be a pretty good holding point. Probably won't go under 44.5 anytime soon, if I'm just to take some guesses. We broke out above that territory. We reversed out of the hole. We should be in a good spot. But we might see a pullback to this area. But either way, whether we do or we don't, we're going to want to do a full reversal back towards that 53,000 level and start heading up towards our price target for end of month. That's the way people are going to start gravitating at this point. So over this weekend, I could easily see us around 50K. Wouldn't doubt it. And I'll just leave it at that. I could see us around 50K. Smart Money knows? Well, yeah, they're the ones that are controlling it. So, yeah. They definitely know what they have in mind. I would say, they'll probably push us towards 50K. There could be a pullback here. They might load back up around this area and then move us back up towards here. Just a shot in the dark. We'll see. Either way, I'm bullish. I am bullish. I would still probably take profit here and wait. You know, but I'm not saying I'd close out my full position. Just to be clear. Maybe 25, 50% profit taking and then load back up at the clear bottom of the dip. Or if we're wrong and it just stalls out here, just throw that 50% right back in if it starts moving up. And then forget about it for a bit. Cool, guys. I think that's pretty much going to do it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. Also seeing some positive things with Dogecoin. We saw a pretty big spike actually a couple hours ago where Dogecoin moved up a couple cents. Right about here. This was pretty nice. Went straight from 20 to 22. Well, this was actually because the Bitcoin moved up, but it moved pretty far. That was a whole 10% on Dogecoin as well. So that was great. And we're getting to a point, if you've been on Twitter, a lot of people have been talking about it, including myself, the Dogecoin node progress. So that, and this is why I'm talking about this, the more computers that we have running a Dogecoin node, the more, the faster that we're going to get to a point where we are running on lower transaction fees. Because we have to have more nodes running the latest version of the Dogecoin core wallet and running a node on that recent software for that really to kind of go live. And we're getting very, very close. So if you have not already and you have a computer that you usually leave running, consider contributing to that effort. Go to Dogecoin.com, download the Dogecoin core wallet, and let it run a node on your computer. Doesn't take very much. You will need 50 gigs of free hard drive space, so probably put it, if you have an SSD and an HDD, you're gonna want to throw it on your hard drive disk, not your solid state, because that's going to take up your precious real estate, and you don't really need this to be very fast, so there's no reason to waste your SSD space. But yeah, you can contribute by running a node like I am. And that is helping progress Dogecoin. Also, guys, keep in mind... Oh, there it is, right there. So also keep in mind that Robinhood wallets is another thing being talked about. That is another big catalyst that we have not been talking about over the last couple days. But that could potentially be happening this month. If that happens this month, that is going to spark the Bitcoin, Dogecoin rally even faster. And that could blow us by that 60 to 65K price target prediction. Help us get to like 70s. So... please keep that in mind, guys. There's a lot of positive news, only a few things that are negative, so I would not be overly bearish. Bitcoin is still pulling back here. It's now at 47,800. So it's still pulling back a little bit. Cardano, how is it reacting? All right. Had a bit of a pullback here. It's down about 4 cents. It was 226, now it's 222. Dogecoin, same thing. It was 223, now it's 218. So it's about in the same boat. No problem, guys. Thank you, Byron, Doge Scotland, always for the support on Twitter, as well as you, Artful. Thank you. And thank you all to everyone else that's in here for all the continued support. Don't forget, if you know anybody that would enjoy this kind of content, feel free to go ahead and share it on your media, whether that's on your Twitter that you use for financials primarily, or if you know them personally, just give them a recommendation to check out the channel. When we're not in a crazy bull market, it is a little bit slower to gain a following, so I do appreciate the support of those that are already part of the following. So thanks again, and I will plan to... If anything's exciting happening, I will catch you in a live stream over this weekend. But if not, we'll catch up on Monday. Just stay tuned. Even on Twitter, you can follow me if you want updates at 2020 Tech Reviews. Links in the description. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later.